Hey, what's up? Ian here, and this is my review for the Moondrop Ju. It's a single dynamic driver IEM, and the retail price for this is $25 and it's available on Shenzhen Audio's website. So if you guys are interested, do check out the unaffiliated links in the description below. And if you guys have already guessed, this video is sponsored by Shenzhen Audio, so please do support them. Okay, right, so in this video I'm just going to go through very quickly the accessories, design, build quality, fit and comfort and all that, because why, this is actually the successor for the Moondrop Chu, right, which I have right here. So last year I reviewed this Moondrop Chu and it's a very popular IEM. Okay, and if you guys want to watch that video first, in fact I do suggest that you watch my review video for this Moondrop Chu first before watching this video, so that you can relate somehow. Okay, so I'm going to leave a link up above here and you guys can click on the link and go watch that video and then come back to this video. Okay, right, so let's jump straight into it. Firstly, let's talk about these specifications and the accessories. Yeah, basically it comes in a very nice box lah. It's a nicer box than the original Chu. Okay, and at the back here you do get some specifications, so let's go through that one. Basically the sensitivity is 110 and the frequency range is 20 to 20,000 Hertz. Okay, so very nice box. And then the pouch is the same, the ear hooks is the same, the spring tips is also the same. Alright, so nothing different in terms of the accessories. Alright, now let's talk about the build, design, and the fit and comfort and all that lah. So basically in terms of the design, okay, if you look at the two of them, they both look very similar. In fact, I think the Chu is just a little bit bigger, but other than that, in terms of the shape, the design, the material used, the shell is the same. Okay, exactly the same. So not much difference in terms of design and the build quality. And then that also affects the fit and comfort. So the fit and comfort, no change as well. So it's very comfortable for me. I can wear this to sleep lah. Okay, so yeah, so basically physically you don't get much difference except for the cable. Now the big difference is actually the cable. For the Ju, it comes with this volume rocker, okay, and a microphone. And for the Chu, it doesn't come with that. And the termination for the Ju comes with a USB-C port, and the Chu comes with a 3.5 headphone jack. Okay, and this is the biggest difference if you ask me. Let me just jump straight into this one. Now basically for this USB-C port, you can connect it to your phone, namely Android phones, because iPhones, you can't, iPhones is lightning. So for this port, right, inside there is a DSP chip, and DSP is the short form for digital signal processing. Now what happens is that when you plug this into your phone, the signal that comes out from your phone will go through this chip, and this chip contains the tuning of this IEM. So the signal will be processed, okay, added the tuning of whatever the engineers want to tune it, and then the signal will go to your earphones, and so what you hear is actually the tuning of this Moondrop Ju. Whereas for the traditional way of tuning on the Moondrop Chu, basically they add filters, they've got dampeners and some nozzle stuff, the glue even, and the positioning of the driver. So it's being tuned physically. Okay, so there's a lot of barriers before the sound goes into your ear. Whereas for the Ju, there's less barriers. So basically the driver will produce the sound and the sound will travel to your ear with not much barriers. Okay, so unobstructed sound. Alright, so that's the biggest difference, which is this DSP chip. Okay, and it gives a lot of advantages. Firstly, the sound wave has got less obstruction when it travels to your ear, thus giving you more cleaner, clearer and more resolute sound. Okay, so that's for the difference. Now let's talk about the sound. Alright, sound, what's the difference between these two? Basically in terms of the technicalities, right? Because of this tuning, okay, is that there is less obstruction. This is definitely a more resolving earphone as compared to the Chew. Okay, that alone is a big improvement. So when I listen to this too, this Ju sounds much more cleaner and much more resolute, and got more body as compared to the Chew. Chew sounds like there's something impeding the sound wave before it hits my ear. Okay, so that's what I hear on the Chew. But for the Ju, it's very clean and clear. Right, and also that affects the sound stage. Overall sound stage is bigger, it's more I wouldn't say surround sound, but it's more enveloping, and the sound stage has got more depth and cleaner layout, more natural as well, and also the imaging and the positioning and separation of the instruments and vocals as well, they sound more natural as compared to the Chew. Okay, so overall the details on this is definitely much cleaner on the Ju, right? So technicalities, I think this is the reason why in fact the biggest advantage of the Ju as compared to the Chew, the technicalities of these two, this one is much better. Okay, now the tone and timbre as well. So overall this tuning, or this method of tuning, also affects the tone and timbre. And the tone and timbre on the Ju, okay, is okay because of unobstructed sound. All right, the overall tone on this sounds fuller, heavier, cleaner. It's more direct. It's got a warmer tone as compared to the Chew. Right, Chew will sound a bit thinner, a bit more veiled. It sounds like something is impeding the sound wave before it comes to my ear. So yeah, in terms of overall tone and timbre, both of them are pretty balanced. Okay, pretty balanced, fun and casual type of listening experience. It's just that this one is more fun, this one is more musical. Alright, the Ju is more musical as compared to the Chew. Right, so technicalities, the tone and timbre on this is much better. Now in terms of tuning, right, the overall sound signature of the two, they are actually pretty similar. Let me just show you guys the graph, and this is actually the graph of the Ju, right? So Ju, if you look at the Ju, is actually pretty balanced. Okay, it's got good amount of bass level, good amount of treble, and it's quite harmonious. Okay, and same for the Chew. Alright, so let me just show you the Chew. Right, so the blue line is the Ju and the green line is the Chew. So if you look at the two, they are very similar. It's just that there's a bit of a difference in the bass and also the treble. Okay, but overall sound signature is the same. So you are getting a very fun and casual listening experience when you listen to either one of them. But let's just jump into the frequencies. Okay, so first the sub bass. The Ju has got a bit more elevation in the sub bass, and on top of that the sub bass sounds cleaner, firmer, fuller, less distorted as compared to the Chew. Alright, so overall listening experience for the sub bass, it's got a firmer rumble, and extension is almost the same now. Okay, it's got good extension, good resonance, but in terms of the firmness, the warmness, this is much better. Okay, and then for the mid bass, the Ju has got a cleaner delivery of the punch and the slam. And it's not as distorted, it's faster as well. I find that it's not as muddy as the Chew, so it's a cleaner delivery of the mid bass, okay, on the Ju. Okay, right, so that's for the mid bass. And then for the lower mids, right, there's not much difference. Both of them sounds in terms of the tone and the timbre and the positioning, they sound almost similar. It's just that the Ju has got a cleaner delivery of the sound. Instruments, violins, pianos and all that, they got a heavier note. At the same time, they sound a bit warmer and they sound cleaner and more forward as compared to the Chew. Okay, but yeah, both of them sounds almost similar in terms of the mids lah. Vocals also almost similar. It's just that the vocals on this, right, it's got a heavier, a warmer note. That's about it. The tone is about the same. It's quite natural and pleasing to listen to. Okay, so that's for the mids. Now the upper mids is also not much difference, but it's much cleaner on the Ju, right? In terms of the treble, it's cleaner delivery of the treble. It's got much better air. Okay, it sounds cleaner and crispier for the treble. And it makes the overall IEM sounds more resolute. That's the impression I get lah. Okay, so when I listen to the Ju and I look at the graph, it looks the same, but the thing is, on the Ju it sounds cleaner, brighter, and the cymbal strikes and the hi-hats, they sound more prominent to me. Okay, so that's for the treble. Overall, these two, they are actually pretty close. It's just that this one would have a better sounding overall sound signature. Okay, alright, so that's the comparison of the two. Now let me compare it with some other IEMs. Alright, so I've got the KB Ear Dumpling, and I've got the Tanch Chim Zero. Okay, so for the KB Ear Dumpling, oh man, the bass on this is, from what I remember, is a lot. Okay, it's very bassy, little IEM, and it's very suitable for techno, trance, and rock, those type of songs that has got a lot of bass involved. Okay, but for the Moondrop Ju, it sounds more balanced. Okay, all the mids on the Dumpling, it sounds veiled, right? Very veiled, and the bass is a bit muddy for the Dumpling as compared to the Ju. And Ju sounds, it depends on which genre you listen to. In fact, the Ju, it plays almost any genre that you throw at it. It can play it well balanced out to you. Okay, it does play anything. It's not specifically tuned to a special niche for the Ju. Okay, it can play any genre, but whereas for the Dumpling, if you like bass and if you are a bass head, then this is actually a very good IEM for that. You won't get much of the treble. I mean, you do, but it's all being veiled by the bass. Okay, let me just show you the graph and just give you some context. Okay, so the green line is the KB Ear Dumpling and the blue line is the Ju. So as you can see, there is a very big difference for the sub bass, mid bass, and the lower mids. Okay, it is very different when I listen to this too, and it sounds much cleaner in terms of the mids on the Ju. Okay, so yeah, that's comparing with the Dumpling. Now let's compare it with the Zero. Alright, the Tanch Chim Zero. Let me just bring out the graph for that. Okay, so the green line is the Zero and the blue line is the Ju. So if you ask me, the Zero, when I listen to the Zero, I find it that it's more suitable for female vocals. Female vocals sounds great on this Zero, and classical, jazz, orchestras, they sound really well on the Zero. But when I played my trance and my techno, heavy metal songs, R&B, I feel that this is a bit lackluster, and it doesn't give me that musicality that I'm looking for those genre of music. Whereas for the Ju, it does play most of what I mentioned on the Zero, but it plays it well balanced, it's well musical to my ear. So that's the difference between these two. I think the Tanch Chim is more niche in terms of a mid-centric type of tuning, and more treble as well, more for treble heads lah. But for the Zero, on certain tracks, it may sound a bit shouty and a bit sibilant. Okay, so that's the comparison with the Zero. I think yeah, that's about it lah. I'm not going to compare with more earphones. It's going to take a long time. But anyway, just to conclude, basically $25 for this balanced tuned Ju is a very good recommendation from me. It plays almost any genre. I mean, it's not a master of any tuning, right? It's not going to be a bass head, it's not going to be a treble head or mid-centric type of tuning, but you know, it plays everything, and it's a very casual musical listening experience on the Ju. $25, you can bring it anywhere, connect it to your phone and your laptop if your laptop has a USB-C port, and can use it to answer your phone calls, listen to your music, play and pause your music. Yeah, it's a pretty versatile type of earphones, if you ask me. Okay. Alright, so that concludes my overall review and impression of this Moondrop Ju. I hope you guys learned something from this video and also enjoyed watching this video until now. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and also please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Right, so I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.